I think when people see that children generally do pretty well with COVID, it becomes less of a concern to be vaccinated sometimes, or they say, well, we're not, this vaccine seems new, we're not sure about it. I'll remind people that, if you look back to when the clinical trials started, we're about 2 years into this in terms of individuals in the world getting mRNA vaccines, and they've been proven to be incredibly safe and effective. And so certainly when you have groups of individuals in your community, no matter what their age are, they're coming together in groups, whether that's in a school or a church or a bar or a restaurant, the potential for spreading the virus is high because Omicron is really, really highly infectious. So on some level, it's not surprising. We're having a surge now. Omicron's come through. We've just had 3 major holidays. People have been traveling, school is back in, and so you're getting human beings close together again, and that's just where it's going to spread. So there are ways to mitigate that in schools, certainly distancing and masking and vaccination programs and all the things that many school systems are wrestling with and putting into place. But on some level, it's certainly part of the equation on the spread of Omicron in a community, but it's not the only part of the equation. It's anywhere where groups of people gather. We have indoor basketball games going on now, and so those are all places where the spread of the virus can occur. Yeah, so that goes back to kind of this whole idea of you get people together, there's going to be a spread of virus. And there's a lot to balance here, right? So the CDC has an interest in the public good and the public health and trying to give, recommendations and try to, limit the spread of all this so there's a reduction in viral spread. Schools have to wrestle with this because there'll certainly be demand to continue to have those events. And so, as we've said before, my view would be that everybody kind of needs to assess their own personal risk. And I think people do that. I think if you're older, if you have other health problems, for some reason you were unable to be vaccinated, then you've got to think to yourself, I probably in the middle of our biggest surge ever in the pandemic, maybe should avoid those kind of settings where there are going to be a lot of individuals and the chance for spread of virus. So I would leave it to the individual to kind of figure those things out. I think it's a very challenging thing for school boards and school systems to work through. I also think there's obviously value in having social events where we can for all of us, including students, because it's been a long 2 years. So I think events in areas that are well ventilated, that people can wear masks if they're able to and they're vaccinated, can be held. But this is all about managing risk, as we've said a bunch of times, right? All of life has risk. There's risk for me driving home tonight, especially on the icy roads in my community. And there's risk to going into a setting where there are a lot of people who may not be vaccinated who can spread COVID. And you have to assess, hey, have I had COVID before? Have I been vaccinated? And what is my ability to tolerate that particular degree of risk?